We are, of course, a very mobile society. People are always on the move, whether it be closer to family, career opportunities, or spending time in a warmer climate. So what exactly should you be aware of from a financial planning perspective when moving out of state? There's a lot of issues to consider. I'm Oliver Kolofsky, Director of Wealth Services and Wealth Advisor at Sweet Financial Partners, located in Fairmont and Jackson, Minnesota. We specialize in working with high net worth people who are at or nearing retirement. We believe that everyone has the right to realize that their dreams are possible and use that as the focus when working with you and helping you plan for your future. So we have clients in a lot of states, and which has been made a lot more efficient using technology like Zoom and DocuSign and others. So the good news is, regardless of where you live, we can work with one another. So last fall, I was meeting with a couple, and they actually have 3 homes, all of which are in different states. And they wanted to change their residency as one of the homes was closest to grandchildren. And they were going to now be spending 7 to 8 months or so at this home, which worked out really well. So there are a decent number of items to evaluate and look at in terms of making sure this is done properly. When I say this, I mean moving to a different state or having your residency be in a different state, to make sure this is done properly for you and your family. So the good news is we now have like literal check boxes as it relates to relocating. So cash flow, establishing domicile, tax, and other issues. There's a decent amount of issues here. Let's examine how this looks. So the first item, I mean, these are all from a financial planning point of view or perspective. So number one, cash flow issues. So we first want folks to examine how a move will affect your regular budget or recurring expenses. So if you already have 2 homes and you're just changing your state of residence from one to another, probably don't need to spend a whole lot of time with this. But if you're saying, well, I'm going to move out of this state to this state, and my loan house is going to be in this state, well, then you'd want to look at recurring budget and expenses. A few things that change might be snow removal, lawn care. Those are fairly basic, but property tax rates can certainly vary from state to state or from city to city. So property taxes would be an example of something that might change. Of course, moving costs. If you have a house already in each state, it doesn't really apply, but moving costs would be something to evaluate. State-specific benefits you might gain or lose. This would be a one to evaluate. Something again from an investing standpoint, like a 529 college savings account. Some states have certain benefits, and you might have to use that particular state's 529 savings plan. Again, not a major issue or anything, but something a little more nuanced that you'd want to be take care of. Probably not number one on your priority list, but something that a bridge that should certainly be crossed. The one where we're going to have the most check boxes, if you will, most action items for you, would be establishing domicile, meaning more or less proving that is where you actually live, and you're not just saying that's where you live. So there are a lot of things here that you'd want to go through. So I'm gonna list a few of them. I don't know if that are more toward the top of the figurative list, so to speak. Your driver's license, voting registration, you'd want to be there. The house you would want to have classified as homesteaded. So that would kind of more or less prove that you're there, and you'd actually want to be there more than half of the days in the year. So through plane tickets or credit card receipts, you'd want to have some documentation that you're actually in your home state, your new home state, more than half of the year. Tax issues. So there are a number of things, and this kind of goes back to maybe the budgeting a little bit. You have potentially different state income tax rates. So you'd want to, but if you're going to a state that has higher taxes, you'd want to be aware of that. If you're going to a state that is lower taxes, you'd want to be aware of that. In retirement, some states tax Social Security, some states don't. Some states tax IRA distribution, some states don't. So as we're doing your Dream Architect plan, the financial planning software we use factors all that in. We can pick which state and which state are you a resident, and it will automatically calculate or factor in the tax rules for that particular state. Filing in, you may have to file income tax returns for various states. That would be something that you'd want to be aware of. The last item I'll highlight here would be, do you need to update your insurance policies, like your homeowners, your renters, auto, umbrella? It's good to have an open dialogue with your insurance provider to make sure there's no issues given your new state of residence as it relates to your insurance coverages. Again, the link for this will be included here. The link for this this flow chart or checklist, if you will. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback on these. Very, very helpful. So one of my colleagues here at Sweet Financial, Amber Knipp, she did a video earlier this year entitled 8 Questions Every Couple Should Ask Before Retirement. And I've got the link here. So it's a nice tie-in to this topic, and we've received a lot of positive feedback on this one. So again, hope you would encourage you to check that one out.